Good morning, good afternoon, whatever y'all are doing. Sorry, I keep getting texts on the screen. That's why it's distracting me. But, anyways, I was kind of inspired to do this little video right now in regards to a pretty deep conversation that I had last night with a friend. It's just had my mind kind of like going all morning and just thinking about things on a deeper level. So, one thing that I wanted to delve into is like in the face of rejection, like when we are talking to somebody and they were interested and either things are going somewhere and then they like just stop, or they don't kind of like grow, or just don't grow together and things fizzle out. And I think oftentimes in our own humanity and in our own selves, like we can take that rejection and sometimes like reach a state of despondency. However, I think what I wanted to get at is if we can take failures like that, like in a failed relationship or a rejection, or like these feelings that you may have for somebody and they're not like given in return, you have to look at it as a bigger picture and life in the realm of that, what it is. Like your life is just this time period. Like it seems so long, but we're only here for this short time. And it's kind of like, why waste it on places that you're not meant to be, and places that inhibit your growth and that keep your soul stagnant in your life? And I think that's what I'm getting at with the faces of rejection. Basically, there is beauty in finding the positivity in failed relationships and things that don't work out. And by doing so, you have to self-reflect and look at life as like, what lesson is life trying to teach me? Or like, what lesson did life teach me from this failed relationship or this rejection? Or like, this person, I love this person and they don't love me in return. I think what life is trying to tell you is that this person's not meant to walk any further in your life path. And it hurts, and rejection does suck. We've all faced it. I mean, everybody does. I mean, if nobody's ever faced it, then, well, lucky for them. But I think it's really fundamental to turn heartbreak into that. And it's really hard. It might take a long time to reach that point. I can say I finally reached a point in my life where I've begun to look at relationships like that. I've gone through failed relationships. I mean, here I am, a single mom of 2 kids, and I can choose to just stay in this lower vibrational state and like stay sad and think like, oh, woo is me, like why didn't this work out, and stay despondent. I did go through a period of it, and then I finally reached this point where my thoughts and my perception flipped, and it was just like, wait a minute, like that failed relationship with my children's father, it just no longer served me. It inhibited my growth, and I needed to continue on and get out of a state of complacency. And I finally was able to reach this point in my life where I'm so content with where I am, and it's a beautiful thing. And I hope that everybody can reach that state of contentment. It's and you see basically so many people stay in toxic, stagnant relationships because it's the complacent thing to do. It's the easy thing to do. They're afraid to walk out. I hope I can inspire somebody that's in like a dark place, or with somebody, or that's facing rejection, to look at it in a different light. Change your perception on it and your perspective, and flip that and change it to more so of, what did life teach me from this? Like, what is the positive and the beauty that I can grasp from this failed relationship? Like, what positivity comes out of this? Because I believe firmly, like, through all the crap that happens in life, really bad stuff happens in life. It does. Horrible things. But it's like, whenever something bad happens, I think you have to feel the pain of it, and then eventually you have to reach a place in your life where you look at it from a bigger picture and ask, what did life teach me from this? Or what lesson is there? How can I grow from this? how can I help somebody else in the situation that I just endured? And then, with getting back to the relationships, because I feel like I'm like drifting off a little bit. Again, I think it's really common to feel hurt and broken when something doesn't work out, but you just have to look at it like, well, maybe it just wasn't for me. Like, and that's not a bad thing, and that doesn't mean that the person's a bad person. It just means that, like, you maybe you're vibrating at a different level that they're not. Like, you're either more elevated or you're vibrating at a lower level. And you guys, I think a very important thing is to kind of like resonate together. And oftentimes, like, sometimes when we get into relationships, one person's up here and one person's down here, and then it's like the excitement of the relationship brings you together in the middle. But it's like once life kind of really catches up and the like real world comes in, and that initial excitement of the relationship kind of just dies down, and you kind of, the real parts of you kind of come back out, and you're just not at the same level. I think, like, that's why so many relationships fail. That's why we all face rejection. It's because you may not be resonating at the same level. And I think that's what it's fundamental that to find a relationship that you do resonate at the same level, and that's where a successful relationship will come from. I think that's kind of like the basis, and I can just say that from my own experience, like looking in retrospect, the relationships that I've had long relationships and just wasn't ready for, just wasn't like, didn't feel like were for me, and in the relationship with my children's father, I think we no longer serve each other, and we reached a point where it's like, in order to grow and find happiness, we had to separate and to become our better selves, because we weren't going to ever become our best selves with each other. So yes, I hope this helped somebody. But if you are facing rejection recently, just look at it as maybe the universe or God is trying to has something better for you, has something more in store, and that this particular person just wasn't for you, and that's not a bad thing. They might have a ton of awesome qualities, but maybe it's just you're meant for something else, or they are, and it's like, in order, we all just like need to find our own soul purpose and get to where we need to be, and that means relationships will fail. Like, sometimes you might be holding somebody back, and they need to grow. You need to let them go and blossom. So that's what I got at. I hope I made some sort of sense. Thank you for watching. I'm Danielle, the Gypsy Mama.